Today, we've done something special. For this segment, we are going to pick a playoff or Super Bowl dark horse contender, and we are going to be prepared to defend our pick. So why don't we all just say our picks? I will go first. I pick the Packers, not to win the Super Bowl, but to make a deep playoff run. Shep?
I picked the Atlanta Falcons to make a playoff run this season.
God.
That's crazy.
Oh
That's
my
actually
God.
crazy.
Chris?
Well, I picked the Miami Dolphins to win the Super Bowl.
Gosh. Even with Ramsey injured?
We'll get into it.
Okay.
It's already a
Kai.
bold take to pick them to win the division at this point, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Nice
Duval.
pick. I like that pick, but that's not my pick.
Yeah, we'll get into it for sure.
Joey?
Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to exceed expectations, potentially even make the conference championship. I don't think they'll make the Super Bowl, but I think they can make a deep playoff run, even win the division.
I don't mind that.
Joey, does this have anything to do with you being a Steelers fan, allegedly?
I was gonna say, it seems like everybody just picked their home team here.
Where'd you hear that from?
I don't know. I have sources.
That's you better check those.
All right, I'll check those.
Check your sources, bro.
Who wants to go first? Who wants to get grilled first? Shep, I would absolutely love nothing more than to hear you talk about your Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, my Atlanta Falcons. I coming from a Carolina Panthers fan, it hurt me to make this pick. However, I picked the Atlanta Falcons to make a deep playoff run for a couple of different reasons. So let's start with number one, off-season acquisitions, okay? They built up their defense with the additions of Jesse Bates, Calais Campbell, Trey Flowers, Bud Dupree, and they also traded for like Jeff Okuda. So what was a huge weakness for them last season, they did somewhat improve. I really like the Jesse Bates signing. Calais Campbell's getting up there in age, but I think overall it is an improved defense. And then let's go to the offensive side. At the 8th overall pick, they selected Bijan Robinson. Now, this was already a team that knew how to run the ball last year, and now you put Bijan behind that offensive line. I mean, I seriously think he could be – he's already coming into the league as a top 5 back, in my opinion, and I think he could easily be a, let alone offensive rookie of the year candidate, maybe an offensive player of the year candidate behind that offensive line, and with how much they run the ball. And then let's look at Desmond Ridder, right? I'm not saying that he's going to be good, but all I'm saying is that whenever you put him with that offensive line and with Kyle Pitts and with Drake London, all he has to do is be serviceable. All he has to do is be serviceable with those weapons. He's got Bijan behind him. He's got Algier behind him. He has to be serviceable with those weapons. And I can see this team making a deep run because of reason number 2. Their division sucks. All right. As a Panthers fan, right? This isn't our year. Personally, we're still rebuilding, right? We can say that Thielen, we can say that, Chark or, Miles Sanders, that's not going to, make us anything special. They're temporary fixes for long-term problems. The only long-term solution Carolina has right now is at the quarterback position with Bryce Young. Now that defense, it's still young and it's going to be pretty solid next year, but Atlanta's still going to be able to run the ball down their throat. Okay. And now move on to New Orleans. What is going on there? Derek Carr.
They have a lot of it.
But then you look at the other weapons. Alvin Kamara, I mean, inconsistent. Michael Thomas, who knows what he's doing.
Ouch.
I'm telling you, New Orleans lacks the coaching and it has an aging defense. They're not going to, I don't see them. I see them coming in second in this division this year, but I think Atlanta still surpasses them. And then let's go to Tampa Bay. If I was a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, I would unsubscribe from NFL Sunday Ticket.
Speaking of which, what's wrong with Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay? Behind what arm? Baker Mayfield?
Kyle Trask.
Baker Mayfield has led a team to
Christos. Don't do this, man.
Did you watch a game of Baker Mayfield last season? That is painful. I watched
him lead a 50-second comeback win with the Rams.
Oh, with Los Angeles, dude.
That
We're
was
not
the
talking
worst.
That was in what
Sheps.
garbage time? It was
That
in
was a
garbage
fantastic
time.
one drive by
that
Baker
was a
Mayfield last year.
crazy-
You're
that
right,
was a
Chris.
crazy
Wow,
drive.
Guys,
yeah,
we are
what a
not
great
talking
sample
about
size.
Shep's Baker Mayfield take. We are talking about Shep's Atlanta Falcons
Atlanta
take. Okay,
Falcons.
That's
take
a whole
because
different
They are
story.
winning
Let's
that
talk
division,
about-
right?
Okay, let's talk about the Falcons.
let's
They
talk
were
about it.
ranked the 31st best offense last year.
The 31st best offense. Look at the rushing numbers. They ran the ball more than anyone else in the league.
No,
And
I agree with you. They have a good rushing attack, but what
It clearly didn't
Super
work.
Bowl winning team hasn't had a good passing offense the past like 5 years?
I'd push back on that a little bit. I think it's definitely more run heavy, but to Shep's point, I'll give him the defense. I like that defense a lot.
the
Those
defense is
acquisitions they made. It's just I think there's too many questions on offense. Desmond Ridder, I'm not quite sure what you're gonna get with that. I think there's too many question marks around there. And then same thing with Bijan Robinson. It could be a home run hit in the draft, but
I think I like Shep's highness on Bijan. I really like Bijan. I think he's disgusting from the videos and training and stuff. My issue is with you sort of saying that their defense is the only thing that's improved. I think that in order for them to actually be good, a defense is only good when they're playing in spurts. If their defense is on the whole time and their offense can't stay on the field, I don't care if you have, the 07 Ravens defense. You're still going to get tired and you're still not going to be the best team that you can be. So, I'd like to hear a little more about the offense.
I think running the football is going to slow the game down a little bit and keep the defense off the field. I think that the offense will play slower because they're running so much, because they're relying so much on Bijan, because they're relying so much on Cordell Patterson, because they're relying so much on Tyler Algier. They're relying on these types of weapons and these short, 4 to 5 yard runs on every single down set. I mean, I think that they can, eat up a lot of clock. That's why I'm so high on this offense when paired with this defense, because I think that the offense can keep the defense off the field and, which will lead to some hell games. I mean, like, dude, you're barely going to be able to watch this team at times because of how much they run the ball.
Football.
It's ugly
AFC
football,
North
but
football.
Exactly. But I think it's their recipe to win the NFC South, and who knows what'll happen in the playoffs too. I mean, when you look at the quarterbacks around the NFC, I mean, you got Jalen Hurts, and then there's a massive gap, in my opinion. There's a massive gap.
I don't mind this pick. I just think like your Panthers, they might be 1 year away. If you know what I'm saying. I still think this is Tampa Bay's division to lose, even with Baker.
Whoa, what in the
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
They still
What?
have
Goodness.
championship
Have you seen
defense.
the training camp videos,
Oh
dude?
Chris
my
Godwin,
goodness.
Mike Evans.
Baker can't hit the side of a barn.
Dude.
Come
Whoa.
on. That's
I still
heinous.
think the
All right,
the Buccaneers.
I'm not hating on Tampa Bay's weapons, right? I think White's good. I think, Mike Evans is phenomenal. I think Chris Godwin is phenomenal. But the quarterback is a huge question mark for Tampa Bay. And then on the defensive side, they're aging. They have a
They are
solid
aging.
secondary with Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean. But if one of those guys gets injured, they have no depth whatsoever.
Nope.
There is nobody on that defense that is, if one of those guys goes out, they're done. They are done for.
And they don't have like
two
a
seasons.
You talk about like question mark at the quarterback position, but look at Desmond Ridder. He's only played 4 games.
I mean,
Like,
that's true.
He's a
But-
huge question mark.
All right, I'm gonna
I
come
would
to the
take-
defensive Shep here because I think that while Desmond Ridder is a question mark, his argument is not that Desmond Ridder is going to be the savior. His argument is that
by no means. I'm saying
can't
that the
make the
Atlanta
playoffs.
Falcons will win the division and make a playoff run despite Desmond Ridder.
I like
That's
that
an
the
interesting
most.
take.
I think that the Atlanta Falcons actually do have a shot to win their division, but where the issue comes is I don't think they have what it takes to make a run in the playoffs, like at all.
Let's say, okay, so they get a divisional spot, right? What are the potential wild card teams that they could play?
Ugh.
We're looking at Dallas. We're looking at New York. We're looking at somebody from the North, either Detroit or Minnesota. We're looking at teams like that.
I mean, I'd argue not. I'd
You're
argue the
looking
Packers,
at
but-
maybe the Rams or the Niners or the Seahawks.
Rams, Niners, or Seahawks. Niners are going to win their division.
Yeah, so probably
But-
Rams.
It definitely, I could see the Rams, and I could also see the Seahawks. Now, I I'm not shaking in my boots over a matchup against Kirk Cousins in the playoffs. I'm not shaking over Dak Prescott in the playoffs. I'm not shaking over Geno Smith in the playoffs. Like I'm just saying that like the talent within the NFC is kind of down right now. Which
Also,
is why
if you make the playoffs, anything can happen any given Sunday.
Exactly. And just coming from a team that will have that consistent ground game, they won't have to really rely on Desmond Ridder, but these teams are going to have to rely on Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith, Dak Prescott, guys who don't have a lot of experience in winning playoff football games.
All right. Speaking of not winning playoff football games, Chris, can you tell us about the Miami Dolphins?
Excuse me?
Damn.
Chris, may you tell us about your Miami Dolphins?
Thank you. First of all, I'm gonna go.
That was such
rant.
a good transition. What the hell?
I'm gonna go on a little rant. Listen,
let's hear it.
How are the Miami Dolphins projected to finish third in their division? Please explain.
Because the Jets have one of the best defenses in the league.
Okay.
They have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They have the rookie of the year, and the Bills are the Bills. And you guys are third
we
best.
almost beat the Bills in the playoffs with Skylar Thompson under center.
I think there's an argument to be made that the Dolphins are going to be better than the Jets, but I don't understand how you could say that the Dolphins are going to be better than the Bills this year.
Okay. Let's talk about the Bills. So we split the series last year. We won in Miami. We lost in Buffalo in a stupid snow game where their fans were throwing snow at our players. Let's not talk about that. And then in the playoffs, we have Skylar Thompson, and we lose 31-34 against a stacked Bills team.
You know the Bills underplayed. Like
that's
like anyone can tell you that the Bills underplayed. That's not your fault, but I'm saying that it's not going to happen twice in a row. It's not happening twice in a row.
Anyways, let me get into the Dolphins team right now. So we just hired Vic Fangio. He's been known for his elite zone defense. He's been causing trouble around the NFL for years now.
Phenomenal defensive mind.
He has the personnel to succeed. We have Xavier Howard, Kaden Kohu. We had Jalen Ramsey. He's going to be back in December, but for right now, we have Cam Smith, our rookie, replacing him. Emmanuel Ogba, Christian Wilkins, Jerome Baker, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Javon Holland, Brandon Jones. This defense is built to win. Training camp reports are saying how the defense is destroying an already elite 30 points per game offense. Now, let's talk about the offense. We got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson, Chosen Anderson. We have Braxton Berrios.
You did not just say Chosen Anderson.
We just drafted
and
that's not a real play.
Fast running back.
Willie Cauley-Stein?
Oh, Devin Acne? Is that his name?
Yeah, I can. And then I'm hearing some reports. Dalvin Cook.
Don't do this,
may be coming to Miami. He may be coming to him. He's on a
I heard a report he was going to the Jets.
We'll see. Anyways,
okay. Chris, I liked your take with the Dolphins defense. I think they're going to be massively improved from last season. I think Fangio is a huge addition, and I really like where they're going with Javon Holland. Xavier Howard might be a little bit, washed up a little bit, but it's whatever. I like their defense this year. However, the offensive side of the football just has too many question marks for me.
You gotta agree. We got the best wide receiver in the league. Easy.
You did not even mention the elephant in the room.
Who, Tua?
Yes, you did not say the word Tua in your positive speech.
Because he's spooked. He knows they're gonna hold him back.
Yeah.
With him and 2-3 without him.
Tell me about Tua.
Well, all the reports that I'm seeing is that doctors have cleared him play. He's been spending his entire summer learning how to take hits, which I know it's kind of late for a quarterback, but he's been learning how to do it. And look, he has a great arm, and we just signed a pretty serviceable backup in Mike White.
Chris, here's the thing. While that may be true, he can't untake the hits that he's already taken. Those take a toll on your body and your brain.
And he might be one or two big hits from retiring. I totally get that.
I know people make a lot of memes about it, and it's not funny. His health is a real concern. Like
it is kind of funny. We still have Armstead, Connor Williams, Austin Jackson's getting better. Like this team is ready to take the next step. Mike McDaniel is in his second year now. He went through all the coaching mistakes that coaches make early on. I think.
I mean, I think you're glossing over that like a little bit much.
I mean, he's an offensive genius. He doesn't need the best quarterback under center. Tua's above average for sure.
I mean, the second half of the Dolphins season last year, and to your credit, your talent is there. The Dolphins' talent is absolutely there. I mean, there's no better wide receiver duo than Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. But what I will say is that I think you're giving the coach a bit of a pass way too easily with how he had those exact same weapons last season, and he still barely scraped to the playoffs. Barely.
Well, he didn't have his starting quarterback, and he almost won with his third string quarterback. Like, Mike McDaniel's a genius. I think the Dolphins have a very realistic shot of winning the division, and then who knows what can happen after that.
I don't, and a big reason is their schedule. They have a really difficult schedule.
So does everyone else in the division, though. And the Jets are an unproven team. We've gone through 1 year of like chemistry and meshing. The Jets are gonna have to figure that out early on. They might have a slow start. I think they're gonna make the playoffs, but there's no way they finish above us.
I mean, I you can't take away the talent from the Dolphins, but I will say that there are a lot of not guarantees, especially because you guys are so young. There is no one that has sort of playoff experience on the Dolphins. You know, all jokes aside from you guys not being a very good franchise, I mean, you guys just don't have the veterans to lead you to the promised land.
Also, how many more times is Tyreek Hill going to assault someone before they finally arrest him? And there's your season right there.
That's funny. No, you're not wrong. But
all right, Joey, if you're being so nippy, why don't you tell us about your pick?
Oh boy. All right. So yes, my pick is the Steelers.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna start with the defense. Most consistent defense in the last 20 years, probably.
Mike
Obviously,
good.
Best safety in the NFL in Minka. You got two experienced safeties right next to him, DeMonte Casey and Keanu Neal, who will probably split reps at that strong safety position. Cornerback is very questionable. Very questionable.
Pat P, baby.
You got an old Patrick Peterson.
Like 36.
You got a really old Patrick Peterson, who I think is still solid. And then
career renaissance.
Exactly. And then a rookie, Joey Porter Jr., who I was just watching clips of today get absolutely dusted by George Pickens, but he'll have time to settle in. He'll have time to settle in. And also, this is the Steelers unit, a cornerback unit that last year also people were like, it's subpar. And we ended up leading the league in interceptions last year.
Well, so, I mean, the Steelers defense is obviously amazing.
I can't lie. I'm looking at that depth chart right now. That's a stacked defense.
Yeah. Linebacker, they lost Miles Shack and Robert Spillane, but got Landon Roberts from the Dolphins, who's very solid. Cole Holcomb from the Commanders, who had, before getting injured last year, had 69 tackles in 7 games. Wow. So
impressive.
You know what I'm noticing with this whole segment?
What?
Everyone is just kind of glossing over the issues because you have not mentioned.
I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk. Yeah. That's why I'm starting with the defense.
Let him get into it.
That's why I'm starting with the defense. Defensive line, obviously top 5 in the NFL. TJ Watt. The Steelers are 1-10 in TJ Watt's career with him not on the football field, so him staying healthy is a priority. Alex Highsmith had 14.5 sacks last year. In my opinion, the most underrated defensive player in the NFL, and he just got paid, much deserving. All in all, the defense is going to be just as good as it has been in years past, if not better. Should be no issues there. Still a top 10 unit in the NFL, maybe even top 5. Obviously, Michael, you mentioned the offense.
Did I?
O-line will be improved. We just drafted Broderick Jones. And you want to know how many sacks he gave up last year in 933 snaps at Georgia? I'll let you guess.
10.
0.
There you go, Kai.
You're smarter than me, Kai.
Najee, poised for a bounce back year after having a little bit of a rough year last year. But I'm obviously a little concerned about that. He's shown to be inconsistent, but there's that. Wide receiver,
pretty good at getting 2 yards per carry, but
he is. Oh, well,
I won't cut it, especially when you can replace running backs. Check out our episode 1 segments for that.
Shameless plug.
Yes.
Yeah, what do we think about the wide receivers here? This is an
I
interesting
love them.
group we got here.
Whoa.
I love them so
It's a
much.
good group.
So
It's a good
underrated.
group.
I think Deontay and George Pickens complement each other well, because whatever Deontay can't catch, George Pickens can. Deontay's quick, runs routes well. George Pickens, one of the best contested catchers in the league. And then Allen Robinson, probably not going to put up huge numbers, but he's a good veteran presence and a good third option to have. He is.
He will be good for George Pickens for sure.
Yeah, if we just drafted Darnell Washington too out of Georgia.
I'm gonna tell you right now, he's not gonna pan out in the NFL. He's too slow and clunky.
We
Maybe
got our
he'll
college
get,
specialist
Did you say
pissing
too
on your
slow and
prospect.
clunky?
yes.
Throw him
He's gonna be a good blocker.
line then, bro. That guy is huge, dog.
There you go. He's not catching balls.
That's true, but he's a really good. He blocks like an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I agree. Agree with you there.
And now for who you've been waiting for, Kenny Pickett. Obviously struggled mightily in the first half of last year. He threw 8 interceptions in his first 5 games. And then in his final 8 games, he threw 1. And in his final 8 games, only 3 quarterbacks had a higher PFF passer rating than Kenny Pickett.
Woo.
And we pulling out PFF stats.
Wow.
4 game-winning drives last year as
Pulling
well.
out PFF stats, then why did you guys end up with a 29th best offense?
Joey, can you PFF stat
I'll get to that.
the least
I'll get to that.
passing touchdowns in 2022?
No.
How many passing touchdowns over 80 yards did you guys have?
Probably like 3. How many touchdowns did we score as an offense last year?
Probably
Like
that
5?
number's low.
Maybe 5. But yeah, Kenny Pickett looked really comfortable in the second half of last year, and I could see he's a lot more confident and a lot more. He's got NFL experience now, and I think he will make a big jump in year 2. I'm not saying he's going to be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, but I think he might be able to get there. I think he's going to show a lot of improvement, and he's going to be a solid starter.
I like this pick.
Now, for a guy who I haven't mentioned yet, who will make or break this team, the only possible person holding us back from our full potential is Matt Canada. The fact that he is still employed on this team is beyond comprehension. I don't know what kind of blackmail he has against Mike Tomlin or the Steelers organization, but it has to be criminal in order for them to let him keep the job.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know if you watch Urinating Tree. Shout out Urinating Tree, but he hates Matt Canada, and he is
it like first down. What should we do? We'll do a split zone to the right. All right, now it's 2nd and long. What do you think we should do? Maybe a play action, maybe a little screen pass to open up the middle of the field. No, we're going to run another split zone right to the right side, all right? And now it's 3rd and long against an NFL defense with a rookie quarterback that knows we're going to throw the football. He's so stubborn too. He will see defenses adjust to his schemes, and he won't do anything about it. He'll stick to his playbook.
That's your OC, baby.
Like, do teams really think we're going to throw the football when Gunnar Olszewski and Miles Boykin check into the game? Change up the personnel every once in a while.
I will say I like the Steelers to make the playoffs. Maybe. I think the Browns are going to finish above them in the division. I think Deshaun's going to accustom himself a little bit better to the league, and I do think that the Steelers have a shot at being better than the Ravens for reasons that we'll get into in the next segment. But yeah, I like it. I like it overall.
I think.
Yeah, just real quick. I think that
there's no
that
way
division's really tough.
That division is probably
they're just going to beat each other up.
We're going to finish above the Browns, and I think we can finish above the Ravens.
I agree with Joey. I think that they have a shot at finishing above the Ravens.
We are going to finish above the
Ravens.
I'm telling you that right now.
Okay, I don't know about that.
I don't know about. I think Cleveland's due for a big year.
I agree.
I'm with you there.
I think Cleveland's due for a big
They
year.
also have been for the last 3 years.
I think
Joey, we don't want to bring up the 2019 playoffs.
Yeah, we don't actually. Yeah, no, that's.
Yeah, let's not do that.
But we're not going to do that. We're not delving into this sort of toxicity.
No. All in all, I think Matt Canada makes or breaks this team. There are reports that Kenny Pickett finally has some input on the playbook. Maybe that'll help. If Matt Canada shows creativity and can get more of our guys involved than just Najee Harris, I think we can be a really good offense. And if not, then we'll go 9-8.
The good thing about the Steelers is you guys have an easy schedule.
Yeah, we do.
Outside of the division.
Yeah, we play the AFC South and the NFC West. Two bottom divisions in the NFL.
Not great. Kai, tell me about your Jacksonville Jaguars. Not yours. You have no allegiances, but you did pick them for this segment. Tell me about them.
Let's get into it. So, first of all, their head man, Doug Peterson, Super Bowl winning coach. He's been there before. Disciple of Andy Reid. So we like that. And then at quarterback, of course, we got Trevor Lawrence, national champion in college, state champion in high school, a proven winner.
We bringing up high school stats now?
Well, I'm just saying he's a winner.
He had that one stat where he never lost
on
like
a Friday.
Yeah, the amount of times ESPN has posted that stat was ridiculous, man. And then they everybody was freaking out whenever he was about to lose to Los Angeles in the playoffs. They're like, this will be his first game lost. Oh,
but besides that, just looking at their schedule, and we'll get into the offense and defense after this, but I just kind of want to look at it more holistically. Their schedule's tough. I'm not going to shy away from that. They have to play the Chiefs, Ravens, Bengals, Niners, like you said, AFC North. That's going to be tough. But the good thing for them is a lot of those games are at home. So, yeah, Chiefs, Ravens, Bengals, Niners at home. They have Bills, Steelers, Browns, Saints away. That's going to be tough.
I did not know that they had such a tough schedule.
Yeah, it's rough, but the good thing is they will be battle tested come playoff time. So if they do make it to the playoffs, which I think they will, just considering their division is one of the weaker divisions in football, they'll have that experience for sure. Looking more in depth at the offensive side of the ball, T-Law has another year of experience under his belt. He has that playoff experience, getting that win from down 27-0. And then I really like their weapons that they have. I'm a big fan of Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, and then you have Calvin Ridley coming back off that suspension, and ETN in the backfield, who was an 1,000-yard rusher when only being the starting running back for, I believe, 13 or 14 games after they traded James Robinson. Mm-hmm. And then if you look at the defensive side of the ball, that's one of my only concerns. They were kind of middle of the pack towards the bottom of the league in terms of points per game allowed and yards per game allowed. So we'd like to see some improvement there. One thing I noticed was they didn't really make a whole lot of moves in this off season. So
Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley was last one.
He was there
himself. Yeah.
Yeah,
he was just chilling.
Yeah. So they bring
probably
back
on FanDuel.
Yeah, 100%. But they do bring back their defensive coordinator, Mike Caldwell, who was Tampa Bay's defensive coordinator when they won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. So he has that experience too. So I think they showed flashes, especially towards the end of last year, going on that winning streak to make the playoffs. I think they're going to lose week 1 to the Colts. That's my hot take. But that schedule's brutal. If they can,
that's rough.
If they can stay above 500 and win that division, they might have to. They're probably not going to get that bye, but I think they're going to be in a good position to compete or to be in the playoffs and compete for a Super Bowl this year. So
they go 6-11, they'll win the division.
Here, let me give you.
They are in a terrible. They got to win most of those games, like the vast majority.
Realistically, I think the Titans are the only team in that division that'll give them a run. But I'm not sure I'm sold on what they have going on over there.
Let me just give you the Titans out of them real quick.
Yeah, what's up, Chris?
I agree. They're gonna win the division. Like, they're gonna make the playoffs, and who knows what happens. Their problem is their defense. Like we've been talking about the offense being a problem in the rest of the teams.
I'm with you there.
This team, it's the defense. Like I have a couple of stats. They were ranked 28th versus the pass and 26th in sacks.
Yeah.
If you can't get after Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar, Herbert,
that's true.
Tua,
That's
How
gonna
are
be
you
a big
gonna-
thing for them.
Don't throw
Oh,
two
yeah,
in there,
you try to
man.
sneak
I'll
two
throw
in
That's
two
there.
nuts, man.
I'll
Like,
throw
don't
two.
do that.
And then the second thing, there's no star power in that defense. Like, you know,
I think you got
there's just no guy that's gonna make a
right.
play.
I think
There's no
Josh Allen
TJ
could
Watt.
take a leap.
Or
But
you need
Jalen
Trayvon
Phillips.
Walker to step up. You need Trayvon Walker to step up big time.
100%. That's your number one overall pick. You need to see a little more production there.
I
Talk about a
do
guy
love
that
the
can become a
Jaguars.
playmaker, though.
Yeah. So, like I said, they didn't really make any moves. So I think you can look at that both ways. You could say, hey, this team's going to be better because they have a little more chemistry. Or you could say, oh, well, they didn't bring anybody else in. So how are they supposed to improve? So I think it's one of those things where they're going to rely on the offense and they just need the defense to get them some stops. But when it comes to those playoff games, you're really going to need your defense to step up. I think if you look at a majority of the Super Bowl winners in the past, they've all been very defensively dominant.
True.
So, yeah, that's what we have there on the Jags.
Well, it seems like we're left with one and probably the best pick of the lot. We've got the Green Bay Packers making a playoff run. So allow me to paint you a picture, guys. The picture starts with a good foundation at the defense, right? Last season, we ranked 17th in all major defensive categories. Not great. Definitely very middling. But I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why that's going to change. First, we have Kenny Clark, our defensive leader, 2-time Pro Bowler, with 4 sacks, 10 QB hits, 53 contributions to a tackle last year, and finished just outside the top 10 with, I will say, not a very good defensive line to help him, just outside the top 10 with 45 pressures. Very solid player. That's not debatable. Kenny Clark is a presence. He's a veteran, very good at what he does. Second, we've got our first overall pick last year at the draft. We've got Devontae Wyatt out of Georgia. Huge dude, man. He is absolutely amazing at what he does. Huge D lineman aside Kenny Clark. He had limited playing time last year. And this year he's going to take a huge role. It was due to injuries. It was due to recuperations. Maybe the coach didn't think he was ready for it. But he has first-round talent, and this is going to be the year where he steps up. He can showcase his first-round talent to everyone around him, and we can have a very, very good D-line. Third, we have Rashawn Gary, who is one of the most underrated defensive players in the league. According to Pro Football Focus, Gary has the 3rd highest pass rush win rate among edge defenders since 2020. Only Myles Garrett and TJ Watt have a better pass rush win rate than Rashawn Gary's 21.8%. Last year, get ready for this, guys. Last year, Rashawn Gary tore his ACL week 9, right? He played 9 games. Less than 9 because he tore it in 9. He had 6 sacks and 12 QB hits in 9 games played. And people are sleeping on him because he got injured halfway through the season. I mean, he is absolutely a force to be reckoned with, and he can be the cornerstone of our defense. That's not even addressing the real couple of cornerstones on our defense. We've got our first-round pick this year, Lucas Van Ness, extremely high potential compared to TJ Watt because of his athleticism. I mean, you see him on some training videos. He absolutely bitched the first offensive lineman taken in the draft. He is absolutely phenomenal, and his ceiling is through the roof. That's not even addressing on our strongest part, which is, of course, our secondary, where we have Jair Alexander, the best cornerback in the NFL. We have Rasul Douglas. We have Eric Stokes. 2 young guys hungry for a chance, ready to, ball hawk the ball, get interceptions. Both of these guys get interceptions for fun. I think that we're going to see both of those guys step up. We're going to see Jair solidify himself as the number 1 cornerback in the NFL. We're going to have a top 5 unit in the NFL. That is going to be our foundation. But
yeah,
I think Shep said,
yeah, that defense is solid. I'm not sure I agree with you there on Eric Stokes.
I know Kenny Clark's going to be good. Wyatt and Gary have potential, and the secondary is great. But that's not what I'm worried about with the Pack.
Guys, I'm getting to it. So I'm painting you a picture, remember? That was the foundation. We can agree we got a solid foundation. So our defense is talented. If only we had God, if only we had a good run game. Like 2 running backs that were good to keep our defense rested for long periods of time and be able to make plays, guys.
Yeah, that's going to be real effective against 9 players in the box.
Who are the guys that are in my? Oh, right. We have Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, who both received top 5 rushing grades at 90.7 PFF and 88.1 PFF, respectively, making them easily head and shoulders the best running back duo in the NFL. Add to that the high boom potential for our young receivers in Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, and Samari Toure, who has impressed in camp, and a first-round talent in Kyle Musgrave at tight end, and our third-round talent, Tucker Kraft, 2-headed tight ends, 2-headed backfield. It becomes evident what kind of football we're going to play. We're going to play a very hard-nosed, defensive-oriented, ground-and-pound brand of football. But I think that we're going to do it great, and we can win the division.
Yeah,
I have a couple.
Go for it,
things to say. I could not be further from you on this take, if I'm being honest. And okay. I think tell me, I think the Packers might not win 6 games this year.
Okay, wow. I think the floor is low, but
and I'll tell you why. High. Michael, can you tell me one single player the Packers signed in free agency? Just one.
Our guys are so young, dude.
Okay.
Listen, if you count our rookies, we've signed some really talented rookies, better than most free agents.
Because young guys really correlates to Super Bowl wins, right?
Okay, I didn't say we're going to win the Super Bowl. I think that we can make the playoffs.
You lost Alan Lazard, Adrian Amos, Robert Tonyan,
Randall Cobb, Aaron Rodgers.
Guys, here's the thing, Michael. I think the Packers will be a bottom 3 offense in the NFL next year. I don't think Jordan Love is just being thrust into the starting quarterback position.
He's not being thrust. He's had 3 years to develop. 3 years. He's shown glimpses. He's been good at training camp, and we have young guys, man. Just I agree. The floor is low. The floor is very low. But I think that
basement level.
People are sleeping on us. People are definitely sleeping on the talent we've got.
So
people are sleeping on the talent we have. We have first-round talent all around the field.
I think you laced that take with melatonin because I'm like sound asleep on me.
That makes no sense. You picked the Falcons.
It's a better pick than the Falcons.
No, it's not.
It is.
No,
it is.
No.
Oh my god.
The
defense is fine. The defense is fine.
Yeah.
It's just the offense is the biggest question mark.
I just said we had the best running back duo in the NFL.
So I agree with you there. But I think it's gonna. But listen, it's gonna become very predictable what they're gonna do. I think Joey said it. They're gonna stack the box. They have the talent, like you said, but there's so many question marks. Romeo Doubs showed some flashes, but
don't talk about. There's a reason why I didn't mention Romeo Doubs.
What's up?
There's a reason why I didn't mention him.
Yeah,
he's not good.
All right, listen.
I just don't see who he's gonna throw the ball to consistently.
Also, I think the question is Jordan Love has been behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years. Yes,
absolutely.
Was Aaron Rodgers a mentor to him? Probably not.
He sent him
off that they drafted Jordan Love.
He was pissed off because that was when he just came off of like a great season.
Him a lot. I think he didn't like him.
Rodgers was obsessed with the spotlight, man. You think he gave any attention to Love? No.
I think while Jordan on the training field, he mentored Love. And guys, the locker room is behind Jordan Love. I mean, that just speaks volumes. Everyone loves Jordan Love. People are willing to run through walls for him. I think that he's not gonna be the best quarterback. He's not gonna be the best quarterback in the division. In fact, he might be the worst quarterback in the division this season. But I don't think that's where our offensive strength is gonna lie this season.
The problem when you lose someone as great as Rodgers is that everything that was done by the team becomes a question. We don't know if LaFleur is good or it was just Rodgers. We don't know.
I was gonna say that.
We don't know.
I'm not too
high.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
How good is Watson? Like, I love Watson personally, but like, how good are they really? Or was it Rodgers?
Well, I think that I've presented reasons why I think they will be good. But I will agree with Joey in saying that our floor is also very low. I can say that.
And I respect your take also because it's very rare that a quarterback starts and just instantly starts producing and knows what he's doing. I don't think that's going to be Jordan Love, but maybe he'll develop towards the second half of the year and they can win some football games.
A lot of new things going on with the Packers. So a lot of potential and a lot of reverse potential. Also known as
love how the locker room loves Jordan Love.
It's
huge.
true. It's true. You don't see that in every
locker.
You do not see that in every locker room. I will
The
say
locker
that.
room
Especially with the
needs to
guy
love
who
your
hasn't, started a season as a starter. The locker room's already behind him, and that's admirable. So
that's
I
very,
really
very
like that.
impressive.